Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yours.
I'm not crazy, Malin. I'm not crazy, Malin. I've just been in a very bad mood for 40 years. 40 years.
Carpe diem. Carpe diem.
Inside here, you get an insight and you know something, but you don't want to say it out loud because you're kind of afraid that it's not going to be really true and it'll spoil the whole thing for you, But when somebody makes you say it, then, and it's true, then it just makes it more beautiful of a thing.
Welcome back. It's a brand new season of CGL.
This is just an absolute treat. These players are so damn good.
The talent on these teams is undeniable. Everybody on every team right now is making plays.
It's going to be an exciting start to the season, and it'll just get better from here on out.
We're about to step to a whole new era of Overwatch esports. So much exciting action is happening here on CGL that you do not want to miss. Look who's starting it all off. It's Raven.
No one necessarily figure out what is the right way to go just yet.
What a nice roll through from Peyton. It's just going to solidify everything within those.
Does come back, and Arsario gets the mech, but I don't need a mech. I'll kill 4 anyway.
This is just a highlight reel for Arsario right now.
They're making a statement in the EU Masters here.
This patch is still incredibly fresh. There's so much to learn, so much to change about the way we play the game.
NKC, but the shatter is colossal.
Let's get it going.
Trades keep coming through. Laura, is he going to be able to find these shots true?
Idu on the overclock with 2.
Here comes an Anvil and immediately goes back to fine skills, slicing and dicing their way through 2, 3, so back and forth.
Week 7 of CGL is upon us, and the time has come for some more SNO action. Welcome everybody out there in the chat for a amazing Halloween edition of Saturday Night Overwatch. I am your host, 2Tryhard Ray, and I am joined by quite some lads on this desk. I believe we have a Mr. Luigi here. How are you doing?
That's
Mr.
Luigi Danum to you, Mr. Tryhard.
Luigi Danum. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
as we all know.
My apologies. My apologies. We got is that like a? It's
I believe that's a
plushie number.
raccoon.
Is that like a? Is that neon raccoon or like? It makes me,
Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with that.
cat,
We'll go with
Neon
that.
raccoon.
And then we got is that penguin or?
It's a penguin, yes.
He's a
Apparently,
penguin,
I'm being green screened right now, but
He's the Antarctic Peninsula penguins. Yeah, obviously.
No, we got penguin rammer. Penguin rammer. It's gonna be quite the show we have for you guys today. Not sure if you're actually gonna come to the camera, Spectriad, or if you're just gonna talk as your plush the whole time. Either way, I am for it. So let's go ahead and start off with the thoughts that we've had so far this season. 2 weeks away from the playoffs. We're gonna go ahead and start with you, Soav.
Yeah, it's been interesting because now that we're seeing, we're at the halfway point and everything's been pretty. We thought everything was pretty, set and pretty fixed and pretty discovered, but now we're kind of seeing a lot of these teams that are making these minor adjustments and making small changes are sneaking a lot of wins in. So I think this is the point we're going to start punishing complacency. So I want to see what happens when we get into that point now.
Couldn't agree with you more. Given things are heating up, wins are that much more important. Spectrion, Mr. Raccoon. I mean, what have you thought so far?
I mean, obviously, I wasn't here last weekend. I was at Epic Land, which those of you on Twitter will have seen was probably more eventful than it had any right to be. Yeah, though, I'm really happy to be back. I think that having seen the patch notes that we've got to go forward for the future with, both to Stockholm and realistically to the end of this season of CGL as well, we're going to see a continuation of Juno still being essentially lobby admin, right? And so I think we will begin to see the teams who've been sticking with Juno, plugging away at their hero time and time again, begin to improve, because they've had just these reps in this one composition. Teams who went towards their own things, I think will probably struggle a little bit more, because even though she has been paper cut nerfed, I think just the experience is going to improve, because I think we've said the previous time I was on the desk, especially between me and Soav, that I think the main reason we're not seeing lots of Juno break is because teams just suck at it. Those reps, however, are going to make it much, much more powerful.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing. Me and Soav were actually casting Collegiate last night, and we did see no shortage of Juno last night. Still very good, despite those ultimate changes. Mr. Headrammer, with this new patch coming in, we talked about the Juno changes, but I think the most significant change was probably the one to Orisa. You kind of want to talk a little bit more about that and how you think that might impact things today.
Yeah, sorry. Say it one more time. I couldn't see. I couldn't was trying to adjust this. Couldn't see for a second. I was having a hard time like seeing through. Sorry. Say that one more time. I didn't quite hit it.
Oh no, I said, given this new patch we're on, we were just talking about the Juno changes, but I think the most significant ones were probably the Orisa ones. You want to kind of talk about that, expand, talk about how that might affect things today?
I think it will be interesting. I mean, I think Orisa being strong. I mean, to be fair, a lot of times when Orisa's strong because you need a tank that survives. I think Orisa's had a lot of micro buffs over time that made her stronger. Obviously, like having no fall off damage, having a lot of situations like that. I mean, they did nerf her, yes. They made her less killable, which is pretty much her main. Sorry, made her more killable, which is kind of one of her main aspects that matter. But they also ended up reverting Ramatcha's change as well, and I know there's a lot of controversy whether that was a good change or bad change.
Sorry to
I don't really.
I
don't really know.
I gotta hop in here, and I understand. I'm so with Spylo's take on that, which is whether it's a good change or a bad change. It doesn't actually matter.
Doesn't matter, yeah.
Like I don't get why people care that much. Are you punching Ryan all day, every day? Is this what matters for the strength of your hero? Like I don't get it. Anyway, well, that's my piece.
So I mean, I'll follow that up because this is relevant. Because we're in what, NA Open right now? Like at the top level, yeah, it's meaningless.
Well, excuse me, sir. This is EU.
Masters, sorry. We're in EU. Sorry, we're in EU. We're in EU Masters. Sorry. But Masters and above, it doesn't matter. But arguably, the people in like Diamond and a lot of those players, it does. So, and we've seen a little bit of Ramattra in the fringes of these kinds of plays. So maybe that might be the change that is the fringe that we need to keep. Who knows?
Only time will tell as, this patch continues to get more time, more people playing on it as we see what teams come up with. Because I still have a theory that, yes, I think Orisa is still pretty good, but I think teams are just leaning into it because that's what they've been practicing for these last few weeks while they're still trying to figure out. We've heard rumblings of possibly Ramattra and even Junker Queen in certain situations coming back up, but I think teams are still trying to figure everything out. But we're going to go ahead and focus up on our matchup today. As we just talked about, it is going to be the EU Masters matchup. If we can bring that on screen for you guys, we have 0-7 going up against Shenzhen Strikers.
Shenzhen Strikers.
So it's going to be interesting. 0-7 won the midseason tournament. They beat Shenzhen Strikers on their way to that in a 3-0 dominating fashion. Things have changed slightly, as we talked about in this meta. Some, Juno's not necessarily a must pick, still strong, but not necessarily a must pick anymore. Things might change a little bit, and the Strikers have had time to adjust. You had a kind of a dominating loss, but you got time to readjust and fix some things. I mean, how do you think that's going to play into the Spectreon?
I think that they have a chance of dealing damage, but equally, it's just going to end up being 0-7 are still undefeated, right? I think 7-0, at least in the regular season. I think that's a crazy amount of firepower to bring, and, I haven't taken a quick look at the mid-season results. I would expect them to have won there as well, but even if not...
They did, yeah, 3-0.
Yeah, they did 3-0 there.
You have experienced no roadblock at any point during this. I almost doesn't matter what Shenzhen Strikers are doing, unfortunately. When you have like an undefeatable Demon King in front of you, there's not too much you can do.
I will say it is interesting though. So they won the missing tournament 3-0, and then immediately after week 5, they went to a 3-2 series of the Plate Group.
Yeah, well, Plate Group is a strong group though, so but that's what you'd expect, I think, out of a top tier team, and then going up against several other, 2 and 3, you'd expect it to be close. So I don't think that's too outlier-ish for this squad though.
Fair though. The Plate Group, even right now, is the 4th seeded team, and Shenzhen Strikers is above them. So
I think we could be seeing a clash of styles. If I remember correctly, Plate Group, I don't remember. I swear they were like kind of a one-trick kind of team where they were just really good at what they played. So it could be like whatever comp they play is just like the antithesis to what 0-7 likes to do. So it's a lot closer, and I feel like that can be very strong in EU. When you think about, there are plenty of EU teams that play crazy, interesting compositions that aren't always the meta, but they get really good at it, and it throws other teams off. I mean, your EU Spectre, I'm sure you can expand upon that.
Yeah, in EU we have a long and storied history of playing terrible, terrible compositions because we think it's funny. We got Clockwork Vendetta, we got Oh Yes, Oh Yeah, Wasp X Oh No, and many, many other teams. Avoided, like, we can keep on going, right? We have so many teams just full of people with worms in their brain. And, you know, you see this in ranks quite a lot. It trickles down. EU ranked is the Wild West. You will queue onto, like, Dorado. You will have somebody in Slug Rhine. Or you'll queue into Circuit and you get a ball. You learn to roll with it. And so a lot of these teams decide to roll with it a little bit further. They stick with it. And they are normally so annoying to deal with because it's never something you've scrimmed against before. If you want to practice against a team who's a one-trick, then you need to be practicing against that specific team, because a different one-trick team is going to bring a totally different style of play to the table, even if they have similar characters.
I legitimately feel like when it comes to at least esports and video games, like, this is why, like, the EU, like, set of mind can be a lot more harsher and a lot more, like, colorful language because of this degen stuff they have to deal with on a regular basis.
We're just a gen in general, don't worry about that.
That is also very true. I mean, even if you look at higher up, you know, teams that are doing well tend to be making their own way. Everybody remember a little team called the London Spitfire, who, you know, in the last season of Overwatch League, you know, broke the mold and did their own thing and managed to go pretty far on it. All right, not them.
I mean, that was just greatness. But we're gonna go ahead and give you guys a couple little treats for the next, you know, few minutes. First, we have what might be the best piece of content that CGL puts out there. Sometimes, you know, your lights aren't always the brightest. Sometimes they're pretty low and you make some mistakes. But we have the amazing, funny, and witty Leg Day, who makes it that much better and lets everyone have a good laugh. So we're going to go ahead and play the ad for that.
Aw. How does the old cowboy deal with this one? Well, less well. Oh, there's for sleep. Here comes the beam, though. The beam will be helpful. Did you just drop off this freaking... Were you forced to use this self-destruct? Or did you just think, you know what? He's sleeping. He's an EP guy. I'll just drop this here. Does he get clear? Tries their best. Where are you going? What were you just trying to deflect off of this central pillar to avoid the Deadeye? Alright, boys. Oh, we just curve around because of all of the angled surfaces. Ah, I've made a boo-boo here.
Headrammer, what a masterpiece. Great idea of getting that amazing Leg Day guy to make this amazing piece of content. But we got another treat for you guys as we have our little game that we're going to play for the week. At this time, your boy is hosting. You know, given everyone's in costumes here, we've played this game once before, but I felt like given it's just past Halloween, that this is going to be very fitting. We are having another edition of Fit Check. How this one works is we will have the name of a skin, an outfit, a cosmetic in Overwatch, and they are going to have to tell me which character does that cosmetic belong to, and then we'll have some beautiful screenshots to show you guys who they are. But make sure to play along in the chat. I'm gonna be watching. I want to make sure that you guys are. I'm gonna hold your feet to the fire on this, as I will these amazing.
That's illegal.
Casters,
you can't do that.
Wait a minute. I mean, that's a crime.
I mean, Headrammer was the one, like, they're saying that I'm the best at this game, so he's got some.
Yeah, the people have spoken. Like,
so we're gonna go ahead and start out with number one. And
am I putting the name here, or should I just say it?
Yeah, would you like us to say who?
I mean, you can say it. You can put whatever you feel. I don't care too much. I'm not too worried about steal. I think most of them will be pretty obvious. I didn't go too hard on you guys this time.
You say that, Ray.
We're screwed. We're legitimately screwed.
You say that, Ray.
This is GG. This is GG. This is GG.
Yeah.
All right. Number one, we have Enchanted Armor.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's a comfortable one.
Yeah, that's fairly valid.
I'll start with Headrammer on this one.
Right, bro. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know this one, so I'm just gonna say I'm gonna say Torbjorn.
All right, Spectreon.
This one is Farah.
This is in fact
wow.
Farah.
And
Well, shoot. Oh, is that the freaking spooky missing head one?
Yeah, this is the missing head one.
Dang it.
it is Farah.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. That's the right one.
Let's go,
Let's go.
Farah.
Quick, somebody screenshot that and save all the other skin names right there.
All right, let's see. Overwatch League Grey Home.
Oh.
All right,
Gray
so,
home versus white home would actually be kind of hard.
That would be
all
hard.
right. So next we have Coffin. Sorry, I mixed it up a little bit for you, Rhino. I did not mean to do that, but Coffin is next.
Oh, I know this one.
We will start with Soav on this one.
I'm gonna say Reaper.
Spectreon.
I'm saying Bastion.
Oh.
Well, my original, I'm not gonna change mine. My original guess was gonna be Reaper, but Bastion.
Bastion
yeah.
sounds right. Yeah.
My first thought the Reaper one was because the freaking like the highlight intro where he just pops out of the.
Yeah. That was my first thought as well, but.
Bastion.
Yeah,
Let's go.
I don't actually remember ever seeing this skin. To be honest with you.
It kind of flashed in the pan, and it didn't. I don't think anybody really uses it when the Lego skin exists. Like,
I'm sure you guys.
Or the Bumblebee skin.
I'm
Bumblebee
sure you
skins
guys have sensed the theme that we have going on here. They are all Halloween skins.
So it's spooky, eh?
So spooky.
Yeah, they're all the Halloween skins. So hopefully your guys' knowledge on the Halloween skins are pretty good. I think you guys should all get this next one. Apologies again, Rhino.
I hate those things when people say you should always get this. I'm like, it's like.
Yeah, I'm gonna whiff that so hard.
Yeah, that's just how it works, realistically.
All right, Jack-o'-lantern.
Oh. This one I think I do now.
We'll start with Spectreon.
Here we go. I think this is the Reaper skin.
All right, Headrammer.
Yeah, Reaper.
Yeah, as I say, I think this one's the Reaper skin.
I may have screwed you guys on this one because I didn't
No.
double check.
No, wait, you're about.
I did not double check, but it may also be this one.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I thought
pretty
about
sure
that
it's
skin.
the Wrecking Ball skin.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they didn't double name anything. So I'm
Hold
pretty
on,
sure.
we're looking it up. We're looking it up.
Yeah, can we check? Can we
Yeah,
check?
if
Can we
you
get
could
VAR on
me
this
there's
one?
one called Jack-o'-lantern on Reaper, you guys can get the points.
Hold on. Hold on.
Because I didn't think about them double naming something, but I didn't think they would do that.
Well, you would trust a small indie company like Blizzard would probably not double name things like that, but you never know.
I mean, it's at least called. It might be called Pumpkin, but I'm not sure.
No, I think it was called like Headless or something.
No, he has a head. He definitely has a head.
It's just a pumpkin.
No, it's a head, but yeah.
It is a jack-o'-lantern head.
Yeah, it is definitely because I remember the jack-o'-lantern head distinctly. So.
You know, now that
You know
I'm thinking
what,
about it, I literally have the game pulled up from my screenshot.
No, we don't need you to do your research here.
Yeah,
I can check
this is
real
not
quick.
time for Ray to do research.
Yeah, I just did the research, and I'm gonna say I was correct.
I'm gonna say I was correct. I'm gonna say I'm right.
No, I respect that. I respect that.
Okay,
Yeah, no, I'll take the loss there.
It is called Pumpkin, actually.
No, I know
Or,
Megan
uh,
something to
or
us,
Dracula.
but no, they just.
So, okay, so I'm
hated
gonna
it.
tell you guys they did double name one because there is another pumpkin in this one. I'm just gonna tell you already. So it's
Okay.
not Reaper. I'm just gonna tell you that.
Okay. Oh.
All right. So
The
next
next one's
one
called
we
Pumpkin.
have is
Next one.
Corsair.
Wait, say it again.
Corsair.
Like the computer company?
Yeah.
Corsair. Corsair.
I'm not convinced
come
this
on.
exists.
I know it exists, but I think I've got it.
All right, we'll
Yeah.
start with Headrammer.
Diva.
Okay.
I'm just gonna think who's a gamer, and I'm just gonna put that.
Soav.
Not Symmetra because she has that other one. Ash.
All right, Spectreon.
Anna.
It is Anna.
Let's go.
You know, that was the one
Oh,
on
you
the screen
showed us that
said.
earlier. That was the one on the screen.
Yeah, I know.
Uh,
That's why I waited a while to get back to
I should
it.
have read the screen. Is what
Yeah, I
should've
should've
That's why I
actually-
waited a while to get back to that one.
I promise I didn't see the screen. I just used that skin for a while.
Does Corsair just read pirate?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
it does.
Okay.
It's
As
another
opposed to
Oh.
like Buccaneer
Actually, no, I guess that kind
or
of makes sense with
Privateer.
because the Corsair logo is like a ship, isn't it?
ship.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, never mind. I got you trying to check that out.
All right. This one I think is the easiest, if I'm being honest. But I
Stop
think
that.
I think I used.
that.
I think it's because I
It's
used.
evil, it's
Honestly,
evil.
I think it's because I use the skin a lot. Vampire. Vampire. We'll start with Soav on this one.
I do remember seeing the skin. I remember seeing this name, but I'm trying to think of who it was on. I'm gonna say my instinct says 76, so I'm gonna go with that.
All right, Spectreon.
Widow?
All right, Headrammer.
I don't know. My original thought was the Widow, but I can't picture the skin.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll go Widow, I guess.
All right, I'm just gonna be honest, Headrammer. I'm a little disappointed in you on this one.
It's Moira, right?
It is Baptiste.
It's Baptiste. Oh.
Bap? I'm never getting that in 1,000 years.
I'll be honest. I don't think I've seen that skin.
I don't think I've ever seen that skin. Yeah. Holy crap.
I legitimately use that skin.
Okay. Sure.
But look, when you said you use the skin a lot, my first thought was into an Ana skin because I know you said you're playing a lot of Ana.
That's fair. That's fair.
But I'm like, well, we just did the Ana skin, so maybe I just misheard him and thought it was for the previous one. So I just like gaslit myself. But I didn't know that skin either way.
Yeah, I had no clue.
All right, now we have Pumpkin, and it's not Reaper.
Oh.
I'm just gonna be very. This is a very basic Halloween one. Like it wasn't like one that stuck out like that. Like it was a very basic Halloween cosmetic. We'll start with Spectreon on this one.
I genuinely haven't the foggiest. Like, genuinely, I have no idea.
Yeah, can we help make a point for Reaper?
I mean, after we exhausted both the Reaper and the Wrecking Ball skin.
Yeah. I'm going to hazard a guess. A Genji? I don't know. I have no idea.
All right, Headrammer.
I'm gonna guess May.
All right, Soav.
I'm going to say Reinhardt.
Well, I'll tell you, one of you got it right. You shoot and you score, Mr. Headrammer. It was May.
Oh.
I've never seen this skin before in my life. This skin is made
Okay,
up.
I've seen that one before. I have. Okay.
Nah, I've never seen this.
It's not a great skin.
I've seen this. I don't think I've seen the skin. I just thought to myself, I'm like, okay, I've seen her have similar-ish style skins.
Yeah, no, that's
so I'm like,
that's a good read.
I'll go with that.
That's a good read.
That's insane. That's insane.
All right. Final round. Based on my scoring, Spectreon is ahead by 1. So.
Ray, I can't believe how easy these have been, man. Incredible work.
He's about to tell us this is the easiest one yet.
Yeah.
No. I think this one might be the hardest one, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Shinryong.
Shinryong.
Oh.
I think of. Oh, shoot! It sounds so familiar.
Wait, can you say one more time?
That wouldn't make sense.
Shinryong. It's on screen.
Okay.
It's on screen.
I don't. Would you do this to us, Ray? Would you really do this to us?
Wait.
We will start with Headrammer on this one. You don't have as quickly as you can.
Wait, as quickly as frick. Wait. Is it Diva?
Soav?
It's May.
I just did May.
Patreon.
That's why I'm.
Hanzo?
What'd you say? Oh, Hanzo?
Yep.
Well, one of you got it right.
Yeah, it's the.
You shoot, and you score again, Mr. Headrammer.
Really?
Diva.
Yeah, so I think of that.
Wow. What is this monstrosity I'm staring at?
I definitely do recognize this skin.
I've seen this game before, but it's
I've never seen this. What is this?
I think I recognize it more from like the Diva like face and like an ears look than I do from the background mech itself. But I remember seeing this pose.
I thought you were hitting us with the May jumping vampire. That's what I thought. I'd say that's what I was looking at. That's why I was like, wait, you wouldn't hit us with May back to back, would you?
The fair Death members would definitely do that to each other.
Yeah, we would.
Congratulations, Spectreon. You did still end up getting
Let's
the W. You were 2
go.
points ahead of Headrammer.
2
So.
points ahead of me. Dang, I sucked.
Well, yeah, you got the
Real.
fair one wrong, and then he was the only one.
Okay, there's no need to
on,
repeat my failures.
All right, congratulations to Spectreon. Now, and I hope you guys all did well in the chat as well. As we now come back to reality of this series, we had a couple of pre-recorded interviews for you guys from these teams, and we are going to start with the one from 07. So take a look.
Alrighty, here I have not one but two members from the side of 07. I've got Octane and Rena here with me today. How are y'all both doing?
I'm doing good.
Hey, I'm just chilling, man. Just waiting for the game, innit?
Waiting for the game, indeed. So, I mean, just starting to get into it. Octane, you've been with the team a little bit longer. How's the season been going so far?
I mean, it's been almost perfect, right? We dropped 2 maps. It's been great. Won the in-season tournament. Won every single game, even with me in, even with Ornate Circle and, our 2 bench players. It's been great.
I mean, hey, listen, you can't argue with the results. Now, Rena, I know you're a very new pickup. We're finding out literally from yesterday, but going into this match today, are you excited to, sort of get some playtime with the team?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm nervous because it's like my first game, but I think we're gonna do well. I don't think they would have picked me up if I wasn't a good player, so here's hoping.
Of course. And I mean, going into this match today for either of you, we talked about where this meta's at right now. Do you guys just see yourself playing the Juno Brig full time? Is it just going to be, tried and true?
It's probably going to be the case that we do start on it. I don't know. It's really down to Shadow for comps and stuff, but that's what we're kind of most comfortable on with our 2 starters at the moment. Like, if I were to play, we'll probably run a lot more Lucio comps, because that's what I'm best at. But with Frog and with Rena, a lot of Juno Brig, a lot of Juno Baps, just stuff like that. A lot of Juno, basically.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Juno's right. And, just to wrap things up here, Rena, since, first time with the team, let's give you a chance to really integrate yourself in CGL. Do you want to maybe say some things to your opposition, the Shenzhen Strikers? Do you want to let them know just how ready you are?
We're not gonna drop a single map. We're in this. We're going gold. It's coming home. We're not gonna drop anything to them anymore.
Lamar. Yeah, agreed. I mean, it should be an easy game. They're the 4th best team in CGL. Like, that ain't an achievement, so should be a quick little 3-0.
Wow, the spice, I love it. Well, I appreciate y'all taking the time, appreciate the confidence y'all have behind yourselves as well. Let y'all get set up for the match, and we'll be throwing it to our desk to let them break down all that information.
Well, Headrammer, it's coming home.
That is what they say. I mean, to be fair, if you're their team, they are 7-0 in this tournament. I mean, 6-0 technically in matches for the regular season, but they got that bonus match win from, just steaming through the midseason tournament pretty easily. So, I mean, I understand their confidence. I mean, what's not to be confident about? The team has dropped 2 maps in the entire tournament, and it was just in 1 match. So, since then, they 3-0'd their way through the midseason tournament, 3-0'd every opponent up until there. I mean, yeah, there's not much you can do beyond just be confident. Now, they are integrating some new players, which is always interesting, because sometimes that can change the team dynamic a little bit, especially someone, coming new is. You've talked about it, there's a little nerves, maybe this first match, but once momentum gets going, things move. You kind of move beyond them.
All right, with that, we will now move on to our other pre-recorded interview with the other team, the Shenzhen Strikers. Let's take a look.
All right, and here on the other side, I have a member of the Shenzhen Strikers, Yo-Yo Cheerio. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good. Hello.
Awesome, glad to hear it. So, just a quick check-in. How has the Shenzhen Strikers been doing this season?
I mean, we're doing all right. First time playing as a team. Just kind of trying to have fun,
Of course, it's always good to come into these matches having fun here. Now, getting to talk with your opponents on the other side, we know they're very much on this meta grind. Do you think you guys are going to lean into that meta as well, the Juno, the Brig, or do you maybe have some other tricks up your sleeve?
Well, no chance. We have an Ana one trick as a support. Me personally, I'm just gonna be playing Monkey probably. Yeah, I don't think you'll see any meta from us.
Ooh, no meta, but the Ana the Monkey is some classic Overwatch, so it'll be fun to keep our eyes out for that one. And I mean, regarding that, going up against the opponent on the other side, talking about them, 07, they're looking like a really stacked team. Are you guys just coming into this hoping to do your best, or do you think you can actually be the ones to take them down?
Nah, we're probably cooked. Like, I've been deported to another country. I'm playing off a school laptop. The situation's not very ideal. Yeah, the hopes aren't high.
I mean, hey, listen, you still come in, maybe throw them off, do some stuff they're not expecting. It can always turn the tide, so have that faith in yourself. But I mean, beyond that, potentially say if you wanted to rile them up, maybe get a little bit of smack talk going. If there's anything you want to maybe throw at them, maybe declare to sort of start that fight.
Nah, I just want to say, please don't play Queen. We're scared. Please mirror us on Monkey. We'll probably still lose. Yeah, that's it.
Well, it's definitely a different change of pace to have this level of lack of confidence in an interview, but still, I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me, Cheerio. Hopefully you can go rally the troops, find some morale at the 12th hour, and good luck with your game.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Please mirror us, 07.
Please mirror us, and we'll send it to the desk to analyze all of that great information.
Oh, what a great interview. But my question for you, Soab, given we're going to be seeing some monkey business, can Winton give them the big win today?
Well, I want to say, look, Ray, I want to be saying yes, because even the team itself is like, nah, we're just done here. It's hard to, look, I'm going to be the morale. I'm going to be the cheerleader for them here. Look, if you guys are playing Winston Ana, just slap a Brig on that, and you have one of, like, the B tier, like, comps right now. You can play that to success, considering a lot of teams necessarily can't work around that. So even though you guys might have given up, I still gotta at least think that you're on the right track to get something. Plus, you've got a decent record. Like, you guys made it into the midseason. Like, you're sitting pretty well. A loss this bad won't even affect you in the big scheme. So just go out there, play your game, and you know what? Like I said, you already have Ana Monkey. Just slap a Brig, and you've got a decent comp out there. You've got a competitive comp. You can do this. I believe in you.
All right, so let's go ahead and pull up the lineup, starting with the 07's roster. For what they're going to be starting with today, we have Salmon and Stuffy on that DPS line, with Shadowy with their tank, and then Frog and Farina on the support line, which, interesting, both of their support players. I mean, keep in mind, guys, this is just favorite hero we put on there. They both love the Brig, so at least you could say they have a flexible support line.
Yeah, I mean, historically, they've played lots of double flex support when they can. They kind of look to go towards, like, a more traditional MS FS setup as, like, a backup. If they have Farina, though, to play these hard MS roles, then that would, in theory, increase the amount of comps they can play exponentially.
Couldn't agree with you more. So let's go ahead and now pull up that roster, starting roster for the side of Shenzhen Strikers. And we're taking a look at, we got White.
Yo-ho-ho.
Yo-ho-ho.
Yo-ho-ho. Okay, I'm making sure I read that right.
Cheerio.
Yo-ho-ho. Feeling a little bit more Christmassy on a, just post-Halloween. Then we got Tachyon with
Yo-yo Cheerio.
Yo-yo Cheerio. I'm reading these and I'm like,
I love his
surely
name.
not.
Go ahead, Ray. Give us the next one.
Cheerio. And then we have Dado Juku is my guess. And then we got, oh my goodness, Toot. I love these days. I mean, Spectrum,
what I'm saying is recent
madness. Please explain.
Well, recently I saw a study saying that only 25% of Americans were functionally literate. So.
Well, I mean, this will be a great test for our
I read a
casters, too.
study where 40% of EU are literally drunk and are just naming themselves these crazy names.
And what happens if I'm one of them? We'll never know. What we do know, however, is that they're not all that confident. So hopefully they have a little bit of that Dutch courage coming into this matchup. And we heard Yo-Yo Cherry always like, guys, please don't go Queen. And for what it's worth, in the scrims I've watched and the officials I've watched, Queen is super, super strong, right?
Yeah.
I mean, her ultimate is essentially like a free fight win. That's so powerful. That's so impactful. Because with like Lucio not really in the meta, Kiri not really in the meta, there's nothing to cleanse the Rampage, so it can find huge value.
So now it's time for our favorite part of the desk segment, and it is time for the desk Preds. For me, I kept it pretty simple. 07 has been the best team in this division. They've only dropped 2 maps. I got them winning in a 3-0 dominating fashion. All right, Mr. Luigi, are you being, like the little shaky, cowardly Luigi, or what do you got today?
I mean, no, because the cowardly answer would be to pick the correct answer, which would be the 3-0. So obviously, I went with Shinzuken. Look, I was too right last time. My wild pick was correct, so I had to obviously make.
I have to lock in.
I had to lock in the most insane thing it could be, even especially when the team doesn't believe in themselves. I have to lock in the 3-0 for them.
You have to believe for them.
I have to. Somebody has to believe for them, and if it's this scaredy cat, then yeah, I guess it is.
All right, Spectron, what you got, man?
First, I gotta say that Sov is out here being like, don't believe in yourself. Believe in the me that believes in you, the Shenzhen Strikers.
Yes.
I respect that. I don't believe in them. I've got 3-0 going towards 07.
Yeah.
Oh, looks like
you moved to 3-1. That's right.
No, remember you were like, I have to be unique. So
that's right. You did say you had to be unique.
Well,
so you picked a 3-1.
This is unique. Uniquely wrong.
Well, looks like you took the little cowardly personality of Luigi and applied it to your 3-1 pick. So, all right, what do you got, Mr. Penguin?
Well, you see, I don't feel the need to force myself to be unique. I decide to pick correct answers, So I also went with the 3-0 for 07.
Alrighty, looks like we have a pretty concise desk. Let's go ahead and see what our casters thought. Our casters for today are, in fact, in the Fletch and Megalas. Let's see what Fletch decided to pick for this series. A 3-1 cowardly, just as Spectron is. Let's see, is Soav the only crazy one? Because him and Megala tend to be pretty synced up, and no, they are not. No. Mega's got a 3. Oh, I mean, last time it worked out for you, Soav. Mega didn't go with you. She said she put the magic in the air for you, and it worked out, but I'm not so sure this time. Let's go ahead and bring them up and have a little bit of a conversation before we toss this match over to them.
Aha, I hear them.
Hey guys.
I will say I am proud of Lass though. At least she's taking the confident.
There you go.
I hate this guy. I hate this guy so much. Get me up out of here. This goober.
I don't think anything needs to be said here. I think we're just done. I think
is the greatest.
I think Fletch has won.
Literally, okay, just for the audience, Fletch is like, guys, I threw this together last second, and I was very excited, and it did not disappoint.
This did not disappoint.
Is great. Oh man! All right,
I went to Walmart at 10 p.m. last night.
All right, given the fact that he's taking homage to you and you interviewed the team, I'm gonna give you the floor.
Okay, listen, Shenzhen, believe in yourself, and if 07 decides to mirror your Winston,
you win.
There might be hope, possibly, of a round. So that's what you're going for. I believe in that round possibility. It's so hard to believe in a team that doesn't believe in themselves. Like, it's so tragic because they have a good record. They have stuff behind them, but they're just like, yeah, no, we think we're cooked. Like, you gotta come in with some confidence.
How do you feel about Fletch right now? What do you think?
I wanna pick this guy up and throw him against the wall.
Let me ask you this: how long ago did you know about this?
I didn't.
She didn't.
Until
I kept it under lock and key. The only person that knew that is on this desk right now is Headrammer, because he's the one that gave me the idea last night.
I mean, yeah, and then also I told him to replace his background because he didn't think he could do it.
Oh my god, you actually use the green. Oh my.
He doesn't have a green screen.
Alright, well,
infringement.
this has been probably one of the most wacky, insane, but awesome desks we've had. Let's go ahead and throw it to our casters. Good luck, you guys, and let's hope for a great match.
All right.
I hate this guy. I hate this guy. Look at him. He's
This
so
is the reaction I wanted. You're giving me all the candy right now. Oh my goodness. I'm actually crying right now.
That was so good. Oh, that really was funny. That was a funny one. Oh.
All right. Well, we got 07 versus Shenzhen Strikers here for EU SNO, our Masters tier in the EU. Yeah, I don't know what to think right now. This is like you said, it's hard to believe in a team that doesn't believe in themselves. That might have been the most brutally honest interview I've ever seen. I mean, for all the adversity Shenzhen Strikers may be under, you know, this match was gonna be hard regardless, right? Because 07 is very, very good. So I mean, hopefully they're able to straighten out the disparity in the mentality before they start this match in a few minutes, you know?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, listen, right? We know 07 as well from their interview. They're coming in with a support player they signed yesterday, right? So there's no synergy. That, you know, that is an open weakness, right? And a backline that's out of sync, even if you're on this meta of Juno Brig, right? If you can catch them out and kill them consistently, all of a sudden, you know, you're 5v4 the entire match, and all of a sudden that uphill battle becomes a lot easier. So, you know, if you're going to commit to these Winston dives like they were talking about, it's going to be so crucial for them to hammer down on these supports and actually punish them. And 07 on the other side of things, right? It's literally going to be trial by fire of you're going to have to learn synergy very quickly. Otherwise, you're going to get caught off guard.
Yeah, I could not agree more. But let's go look at our map pool. It's week 7, so we do know that our first map is going to be Nepal for this matchup. Followed by Midtown, Throne of Anubis, and then tiebreakers gonna be New Junk City and Shambhala Monastery. You know, we know what Shenzhen is going to want to do here. Unfortunately, Mega, I don't think that this map pool is entirely conducive to that. I think Midtown might be the best place to get away with a dive, but even then, it's really not that great compared to some of the other compositions that you could run. And on the rest of these other maps, it's like poker brawl all the way. I don't see another chance to really, you know, abuse the dive. And maybe on Throne, I've seen some teams run dive on Throne, the Wrecking Ball Diva, even the Winston at times. But it's going to be really interesting to see how they try to get this done.
Yeah, I think the biggest indicator, because these aren't, you know, your stereotypical dive maps, is going to be watching where your Ana is positioning, right? And how much peel they're realistically going to get. Because one of two things is going to have to happen. Either your Ana is going to have to play so far out of the fight that it simply wouldn't be worth it 07 to try to commit to get that Ana. Or, you know, they're going to have to play in these positions where they can be up close and personal to try to help out, but they're going to require an immense amount of peel from the rest of the squad to really help out. So it's, you know, if you're going to be on an OTP, and, you know, I'm here for it. We all love our favorite grandma, but you have to be able to back it up with the skill. You're probably going to be landing these sleep darts as well as being an engaged tool with the anti-nades. Just having to sort of be a carry player under all the pressure that you'll be under.
Yeah, and you know, like so I've said, like it's a good thing. Like, you know what you want to do, right? You have a decent comp ready to go. It's not the worst. It's certainly not the best right now, but it's B tier, right? It's okay. It's always gonna be okay. This dive comp, it really is gonna come down to how you're gonna play it. Because like I said, it's gonna be rough with this map pool. you've got to be really creative. And you've already got to be very creative when you're running a dive comp on, when dive is really good and when you're on a really good dive map. You got to be creative. And now we're coming into a map pool where there's 5 maps that are not great for it. So now is when you have to get really, really creative and try to jump on the weak point, which, is going to be potentially that new player in Furina, right? She,
Exactly.
Like we said, brought in only yesterday, I think y'all said. And that's not to say that she is the weak point, but if there is going to be a true visible weak point, it would be, a new player in the backline. So you've got to be able to at least try and attack that potential weak point.
Yeah, and so we'll have to see if they can do it here, but it is going to sort of be that juxtaposition, right? If we know the dive's coming out on one side, right, what does 07 do in terms of the mirror, right? We've seen a little bit of fall off with Orisa. Some people are trying to figure out which tank is the best. Is it still Orisa? Do we try to pivot back to something like a Malga or things like that in terms of the brawl? Only time's really going to tell as that sort of shakes out with some new nerfs and everything that's been coming through. But at least initially here in the spawn rooms, Shenzhen, they are starting off with that Ana and Winston, like we said, but also a Zenyatta in the mix here. While it's not going to create as much peel for your Ana, maybe not the healing that you'll expect or want, it is going to create opportunities for these Discord orbs to be applied, that damage coming through on these dives to really help eliminate a target quickly. And 07's actually taking the mirror.
Yeah, and it's not even the Brig mirror. Okay, well, Furina still in spawn, so it's a 5v4 right now as we head into Nepal Sanctum here. We're going to see Yo-Yo Cheerio over by the pillars. Going to look for an opportunity to jump at some point here very soon. Not quite going to be able to do anything there as Shadowy has to grab the Mega Health Pack. Point pressure now from Shenzhen Strikers. They're going to grab the first flip here as the dive comes back through right on top of Shadowy, who's going to get the healing, the nade, as 07 will look to try and stabilize here before they go back in. A little bit of pressure being put on from the side from Tachyon. And a beautiful anti-grenade onto Shadowy as Tachyon cleans that up, and that should be the fight for 07, or rather Shenzhen Strikers.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely massive. Here's clean up. Back and forth, though.
Oh, neither team has a tank. Yo-Ho-Ho has found a late pick, so it is a 3 versus 2, and it should be, a disengage here for 07 as they wait for their players to come back, but they're very confident. They do not want to let this go. Coach Gun from Yo-Ho-Ho to get away, but now point pressure from 07 as the respawns come through from Shenzhen. They're going to contest the point now. They see where this Winston's at. Shadowy going to jump away for a moment as Shenzhen tries to take a breath.
Yeah, I mean, just these soft resets are happening here, but 07, just their dives are looking, that's great, though.
Wow. You talk about those antis. Frog hits 3 with that grenade, and Shadowy cleans all of them up. And 60% will be all that Shenzhen is going to be able to grab here.
Yeah, I'm going to be real. I thought that was a nano engage, but no, Frog's still able to keep that just off of the back of a massive anti-nade, right? So props for that one here. You're coming up on a plethora of ults for both teams here, so it's going to be a pretty heavy commitment. Bolt Tracer's going to be looking for supports with these pulse bombs. I feel like Salmon is going to have an easier time with the Zenyatta today.
Alright, Yo-Ho-Ho very low. You see up there, Tachyon also has to get away, but there's the nano engage, followed by the primal blade. Not going to find a final blow with that primal rage, but it will be enough to keep them up. Tachyon's doing everything that they can in the backline, and so is Yo-Yo. Tachyon and Yo-Yo have gotten 3 of their own. So now this is an even fight, a Winston and a Tracer versus a Winston and a Tracer. Yo-Yo playing ring around the rosy, but Salmon able to track down the Winston. And now a Tracer duel on the point, and Yo-Ho is actually going to be able to come in with the headshot. Bob ready to go, gonna throw out that ultimate, and with the anti applied to Shadowy as well as the Transcendent, Shenzhen is gonna come in and grab the point right back.
They have the point, and as well as a nano boost here. 07 on the other side, though, they can commit with a rally, get all that extra health that is going to come with it, as well as this Bob from Sufi, able to just sort of come in and create all of the space in the world, right? There's nobody that can break down this Bob easily on the side of Shenzhen. So it is just going to be there doing constant damage to anybody in its path.
Right. Right back in. Bob in the hands of Sufi. Gonna throw out that ultimate, but Shadowy goes careening off the map at the hands of Yo-Ho-Ho. And that coach gun, the Nano, on it to the Winston. Not going to be able to clean anything up as Furina did pop that rally there, but 99% now as Tachyon tracks down their mirror image, and they will not be able to get back on the point in spite of Sufi's 2 picks. Shenzhen Strikers comes out swinging. This does not look like a team that is unconfident.
I mean, they talked about it, right? Like, go ahead, mirror them. You can see why Shenzhen is so confident in this composition. You saw what Tachyon was doing on this Tracer. Absolutely a lights-out performance. Yo-Ho-Ho coming in with these headshots when it was absolutely needed, as well as that clutch coach gun, right? Being able to remove a Winston from the fight like that in that final fight. Boom, right there. Just absolutely insane play, turning it on its head here. And 07, you know, all of a sudden, they're looking at having to be a little bit scared. They're off of the Winston. They've no longer accepted the mirror as a good idea. They're on the Juno Brig. They have a Junker Queen in play as well, so this is more standard of what they like to run.
All right, well, gonna be interesting here. The dive is gone, like you said. Commanding shout out from Shadowy to escape. Able to stay alive for the moment. Get back to the supports of 07. Shenzhen still chilling outside, ready to go in, up, and a little bit of a CS surf for Yo-Yo Cherio there. Salmon has to use the recall as Cherio comes back into the fight. It's just Cherio left, and it will be 07 grabbing this first fight here on Village.
It's such a difficult thing to juggle here, right, when you're the Winston in this comp, because as you saw, you were going for, you know, trying to jump in, create some disruption on the backline because you knew the Junker Queen would just run past you, but that created the opportunity for 07 to just leave the Winston, ignore it, and just let the rest of the team fall by the wayside. So Shenzhen's going to have to be a little bit more grouped up to keep everybody alive.
All right, point pressure from, I'm sure it's Tachyon down there. Yeah, they're going to be able to, oh, goodness, Sufi with a beautiful shot there to clean up Tachyon in that fight with Salmon, and because Yo-Ho-Ho is dead as well, Shenzhen has to escape and at least try to stay alive.
Yeah, I mean, they're just going to get some stagger picks here. And 07, again, they look a lot more confident, a lot more in control with this Junker Queen, right? They're setting the pace, they're setting the tempo of the match exactly like they want to here. You know, coming up towards a plethora of ults for themselves here. They're going to have probably the Junker Queen Rampage as their first tool to rip, but it's just a matter of how far is this anti going to go.
Over the building goes Yo-Yo. The anti onto the Junker Queen. Rampage is the answer, but Shadowy goes down in turn. The Rampage bleed damage will be good enough to kill Yo-Ho-Ho, but as the juggle comes through, Yo-Yo showing off the mechanics. University laptop be damned as Yo-Yo kills 2, and Shenzhen comes in and grabs the point back.
That was such a greedy Rampage from Shadowy, right? You're anti, you're already half health, so you're not going to get any of that initial healing by just running through people with the Rampage. And it was good from Shenzhen to be able to burst that down. But Yo-Yo Cherio, I mean, taking advantage of all that space, right? Just sort of going in, proving that Winston can sort of be a DPS in his own right, isolating people from the fight. So now you're on board, watching for the next approach.
Deadeye in. A lot of damage put out by the Deadeye, but no kills in the site. The Nano onto Yo-Ho-Ho, but Yo-Yo and Yo-Ho are dead instead there. Trying to get rid of Frog, will end up finding that backhand to take down the Brig, but it's just going to have to be a get out alive here for the remaining players for Shenzhen Strikers.
Yeah, it's not going to be an easy task when you have this Tracer and Junker Queen on you, just like that. Dido is not going to be long for this world here. And so now 07, they have themselves in a position where this can be final fight territory with the Bob and the Rally. Similar situation to what they had on that first point of Nepal here. Shenzhen, it's going to be a difficult approach. They're probably going to have to burn the Transcendence early just to keep everybody alive and get that objective contested.
All right, over the point goes Yo-Yo. Only the Transcendence in the hands of Shenzhen. Bob comes out here from the side of 07. Point contest from a Shadowy, but they lose Salmon early. Shadowy does get the trade Transcendence now from it to the numbers in advantage of 07 heavily right now. There will be a flip, but Megalas, everybody else is dead. It's just Tachyon left. It should be 07 taking this map.
It definitely should. You'll probably see the Tracer blink in, and nope, not even able to make it. Sort of tragic. And Shenzhen, they played so weirdly split on that round. We saw how good that they were on the first round, but you know, their dive seems to have fallen apart when they weren't in the direct mirror. So, you know, I feel like they could have played a lot more together, right? You said Tachyon on off angles a lot was ended up getting caught out. These supports were just constantly found time and again here. So for the side of Shenzhen, you know, group it back up, take a deep breath. But if you're 07, right? I mean, you're known for the Junker Queen for a reason. Just stick on it. You're looking great.
Yeah, it was a very, very different map when 07 went over to the Junker Queen, but now I feel like if you're going to be going the Winston versus the Junker Queen, this might be the most even footing that we see here on Nepal, here on Shrine. 07, they make it to the point first just because they have a couple of options for that speed boost. Yo-Yo gets a little bit aggressive on the off angle, able to escape for a moment. Dido putting in some good healing right now, able to keep the Winston up. A little bit of pressure. I'm not sure where from is. Their Winston is very, very low. Anti onto 2 players. Frog, I mean, able to escape there as Salmon able to drop, I mean, Toot and Dido. And 07 are able to walk in and take this first fight here on Shrine.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like Shenzhen, you know, they've all of a sudden started playing as 5 individual agents instead of this cohesion that we saw for them on our first round here. They're going to be now over to the Kiriko, potentially trying to provide a little bit more healing, a little bit less with that Discord orb. But, you know, clearing these high grounds is a nice touch, right? It's a good place to set up your Ana, and they are aware of the Tracer's here.
Salmon opts to run there. Good option indeed. Anti onto Shadowy, but I cannot imagine that the follow-up will be there. Salmon gets hit, able to get down there, but Yo-Yo, everybody got a piece of the Winston there, as it will be Shenzhen without their Winston in the fight here. Now Shenzhen have just got to try to escape if they can.
Yeah, and it's just these constant resets because, again, they're taking these individual fights when, you know, 07, they're making the calls, they're grouping up together when they need to. Beautiful Suzu almost let the Cheerios get out, but unfortunately that's not the case. And so 07, they're just getting to kind of command the game for free simply because of the mistakes that Shenzhen is making.
Yeah, we crossed the 65% mark here for 07, and they've got damn near 4 ultimates in tow at the moment. Very, very strong performance after switching to the Junker Queen here. Shenzhen, they need a play. They need to follow up on these antis of Dido. Tachyon has switched over to the Genji now. So we'll see if that swap is going to mean anything for the side of Shenzhen. And Yo-Ho-Ho, eventually you're going to get caught out there, Salmon. You know, make the same play time after time. Yo-Ho-Ho gets the job done there. Gets rid of the Tracer. Now the dive comes through from Shenzhen. Deadeye from Yo-Ho-Ho. Finds a little bit of damage, but nothing in the way of kills. Rampage in. Deadeye now from Sufi. The Rampage, no cleanse for Toot. And the flip belongs to Shenzhen, but now at 95%. I mean, Yo-Yo just doesn't even get to use the Primal Rage there. You needed that. But it will be 07 taking the flip, and I mean, that's the map.
Yep, nobody's going to be able to touch. You almost sort of wish that you had invested that Primal Rage there. And again, it's just so uncharacteristic, right? This is clearly, you know, starting to look like Shenzhen, you know, is in their own heads more than anything else, right? Because 07, don't get me wrong, they're looking great on this Junker Queen, but they ultimately, you know, they're just, again, punishing Shenzhen's mistakes. They're playing way too split. They're not coordinating themselves at all. It's a bunch of people trying to take 1v1s. And while you have the mechanical skill to get away with it sometimes, that punishment comes through on, you know, somebody else on your team. So there has to be some sort of adjustment made there in getting everybody on the same page again. Because, you know, we look back to that first round, right? Sure, you were in a mirror. They weren't on their best comp yet. But, you know, you looked incredibly in control and you looked good at what you were doing.
Yeah, I mean, they're running a dive in a technical sense, right? Technically, this comp is a dive, but they're not diving, really. And unfortunately, the agency that these, you know, heroes allow you to get away with in the dive comps, they don't really allow you to get away with that in the 1v1s like you're talking about. It's... I so agree with you, because this team is looked very comfortable on the dive when they were actually coming together, because you saw Yo-Yo and Yo-Ho-Ho, or rather it was Tachyon on the Tracer on the first sub-map. They were down 3 in a fight at one point, and they were able to turn it around just them together, right? That is the kind of plays that allowed them to win on Sanctum, right? You didn't see that in the other 2 maps. You saw Tachyon and Yo-Ho-Ho and Yo-Yo all doing their own thing, and unfortunately, with these characters specifically, you can't get away with that. It's just not a thing that can happen, especially when you've got such a hard counter in Shadowy playing that Junker Queen. It really is a nightmare for a Winston that's all alone. You really have to help your Winston out, and you know they were finding consistent antis on the Junker Queen and on other characters. They were just never able to follow up because they were never ready for it.
Exactly, and you know, it just allowed, again, 07 to sort of run away with the round here. You see it with all of these stats, just it looked like, oh, you know, complete dominance, but there were points that you saw on the side of Shenzhen that how good they looked. So hopefully they can sort of recuperate, take that deep breath, and realize exactly, you know, some of the mistakes there, because I feel like a lot of it is on them, right? If they can come into this with a little bit of a better mentality, realizing, hey, listen, if we actually play together, do what we need to do, we can take it to these guys. I feel like Midtown, like, obviously you need to win 3 maps in a series, but I feel like Midtown is your best shot coming up next here. So this cannot be one that Shenzhen lets slip through their fingers, just like they did here on Nepal. You have to come into this, you know, rebounding with confidence here. Otherwise, you're just going to go the way of pretty much every team that's faced 07. You're going to hit that, you know, potential 3-0 and just be worried and just think, oh, you know, they're too good. We're never going to be able to beat them.
Yeah, I agree, right? I brought it up at the beginning of the series, right? When we were looking at the map pool initially. Midtown just has to be it. You've got to, if you're going to find some kind of momentum, if you want to try and give 07 a run for their money, it has to be here. It's just not going to be, you know, super easy to run, you know, this Winston dive on these other 3 maps. And it's not really that easy to run it on Midtown. You know, especially if 07 is going to be, you know, probably running the Junker Queen. You know, that's what they like to do. But there are some very good options that you could run on Midtown. You know, the Orisa, I think she's worse now for sure, but she's a good shout. The Sigma is probably my go-to on Midtown. And I don't think we're going to really see either of those because we know what, you know, the Shenzhen Strikers are going to want to run. It's the Winston. And probably we know what 07 is going to run out on. They like the Junker Queen a whole heck of a lot. I do not imagine that we see anything super different. Okay, that's not what I expected. It's not bad. I don't hate the Ramatra here at all.
Yeah, no, the Ramatra, it brings an interesting component, more survivability. But Shenzhen, this is going to be the hardest point of all of Midtown for them, right? Setting up your Ana for these attacks is going to be brutal, especially if you're choosing to try to, you know, take some unconventional pathing through the alleyways. It's almost sort of setting up your supports to fail, right? So you're going to have to find some sort of odd angle to get an anti-nade in, and then Tachyon and Cheerio are both going to have to sort of get in there and be able to execute on it quickly, right? This comp is all about finding your moment and going, and if you take too long, then that moment's just going to fade away.
All right, back in for map number 2, Shenzhen looking for their opportunity here. Yo-Yo going to go in on the backline, drops the bubble immediately. Pretty confident right now as that Brig is very low, but the rest of the team just did not go in. Sufi burns it down at Tachyon. Sleep gonna land onto Shadowy, so that will be a little bit of an annoyance here for the side of 07, but Dido left to burn there as Shenzhen tries to escape.
And again, you know, this is what we're talking about, right? Cheerio going in alone. Like, where was Tachyon or even at least a Dynamite from Yo-Ho-Ho to try to get onto that staircase, right? When your Winston is isolating, you know, we saw it, right? Frog dropped incredibly low. So did Rena. Being able to get these characters so low, it's just the life of a Winston player. You need somebody else to help you finish up the damage. You're never going to be able to cleave through it on your own without some sort of assistance.
Stepping up to the plate one more time for Shenzhen. Dive gonna come through. A boop straight up in the air a couple of times for the Winston. Counter dive now in from Yo-Yo Cheerio. They're gonna pop the Annihilation, and Shadowy is not even gonna have to look at Yo-Yo to burn down that Winston as Shenzhen tries to escape back to spawn.
And this is just a Shenzhen that, you know, you got cooked by Annihilation. You have to sort of respect that one here. But again, they're going to find themselves a little bit behind in the old 07 coming in. This next one is going to have both support ults to work with as well as a pulse bomb here. So, you know, I would try not to invest from Shenzhen. See if you can force out this Juno ultimate and then sort of just kite it. Back up, take your time. You still have 2 minutes on the clock, so you can definitely afford another fight or two just to take some time.
Alright, Nano Boost onto Yo-Yo. Tachyon is in there as well. They need to get rid of Shadowy, who is antied right now. Those hands cannot last forever, but Salmon is in the back line, raising hell right now. And it's just going to put Shenzhen right back to square one.
Yeah, I mean, investing the Bob and the Nano there for pretty much trading those two for a pulse on your attack is nothing short of disastrous here. 07 getting to just sort of play with house money, and Shenzhen, again, we're just hammering it home. It's just the fact of the case right now. Cheerio is going in alone time and again here. It's leaving the backline so susceptible.
Oh my god. I think that was all headshots from Shadowy. Yo has to escape. There's a Primal Rage in the hands of Yo-Yo, who we've seen do very well with those juggles. Yo-Yo trying to be an annoyance to Shadowy. Now the Orbital Ray gonna come down in the spawn door with a minute left on the clock, and Sufi cleans up too. This is looking disastrous right now for Shenzhen.
Yeah, nothing short of disastrous for sure.
Wait a minute.
Anti is nice though, so that could be the opening.
Wait a minute. Whoa, Dido throws that anti out the spawn door. Now it's a 5 versus 3 heading into the next fight. Sufi tries to get away. There's a Primal Rage in the hands of this Winston. Gonna go in one more time. Sufi gets juggled into the corner, but the healing is immaculate. They might have a win condition though. They're gonna grab this first tick, but they need more as 07 returns to the fight. Kitsune Rush comes down, and unfortunately, that is not going to be what they wanted. The Kitsune Rush means nothing, but they have a win con now, as they will not get another chance to come back in here.
Yeah, no, I mean, the Ashe is hiding here, waiting for the last second to try to get a touch trigger overtime, but it seems like that overtime is just going to be triggered in vain. You know, potentially if you can get Tachyon back in the fight, you have a pulse bomb to work with, but you're already so short on numbers.
Yeah, Yo-Ho-Ho and 2 down early. Salmon is antied for the moment. Will get taken down though, so Tachyon returns to the fight with that pulse bomb in tow. Gonna look for it, but unfortunately gets a mouthful of mace there from Frog. And Shenzhen, they have a win con here. I mean, it's not gonna be easy at all, right? But it's better than nothing, I suppose.
It's better than nothing, but again, like, it's more so disappointment and frustration than anything else, because Shenzhen, they show these glimmers where they follow up, and then, like, it seems like they're just in their own heads. Like, they've already decided this match is not winnable, so they aren't putting in the most effort that they can. When, you know, we're seeing 07 make these crazy mistakes, and there's punishment that can occur for them here, so, you know, something's got to wake them up. Potentially their defense can be a little bit better, right? You're going to have plenty of places to put this Ana, to where these nades can come through consistently. But actually, they're giving it up. They're now pivoting over to a Rhine composition with the Baptiste Lucio here. Just to try to speed boost, you know, potentially make it a more aggro defense. Not a style we're used to seeing, but maybe something that'll work out against the Ramatra specifically. Meanwhile, 07, I mean, I was going to say, if this fully left spawn, then I think they've entered bad manners territory, as some would call it. But probably just gonna be a pop shot from the Widowmaker, while the rest of the team sort of rushes out main.
All right, interesting looks here as we get back in for 07's attack. Sufi on the off angle, looking for it, not gonna find what they want just yet. They see the Reinhardt funny hammer guy in for the moment. Tachyon throws out the deflect. It's not going to ward off Sufi forever though. The shots are true, the damage is done. 2 players dead for Shenzhen, make that 4. As 07 will get their first tick and, I mean, gonna get to that 61% very, very quickly.
It's just tragic. Like 07, they're looking great, right? They're doing exactly what they need to do here. It's really just a disappointing showing right now from Shenzhen. I hope that, you know, they can make some sort of speech. They don't really just think it's lost, because they have good rounds. They have these good moments, but they just simply, you know, doubting themselves. They're leaving themselves split. Like even in this attack right here, right, that final moment, you see the Reinhardt completely out of position by himself, not able to follow up or help with anybody, and meanwhile the rest of the team is just spread out across point, each trying to do their own thing. Nobody on the same page. So 07, I mean, they're looking good right now, but Shenzhen's making it pretty dang easy for them.
I'm trying to keep the spirits up, but it's kind of hard. The mentality is kind of rubbing off on me at this point, and I hate that because I saw what this team could do. I saw them play super well on Nepal. Those, you know, it got kind of away from them at the end, but those first 2 submaps on Nepal were very close and competitive, even with the Junker Queen on Village, right? They made a show of it. And I mean, at this point, I'm like, I've seen the mechanics show out from all of the playmakers that would, you know, be, you know, the ones showing out for Shenzhen. But I can't help but agree. I don't know what else to say, because like we said before, it's hard to support a team that won't support themselves. It's hard to have confidence when they don't, right? And we can see it in their gameplay. They come out swinging, they start out looking okay, and then they lose a fight, and then it just kind of feels like it goes away. And that's, you can't blame 07 for that. They're just playing what's in front of them. They are playing their game very well. And I mean, as we head into this break, Shenzhen, I mean, it's a little bit much to just say, hey, you need to, you know, lock in, go next, and just get, you know, play go next, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's what you need to do. Right? You really, I think that this is probably a little bit too much to ask at this point. I think it might be a little bit too far gone, but I have hope, right? Because we have seen the moments from Shenzhen. We've seen what they can do. I've seen Yo-Yo with some incredible primal rages throughout these first couple of maps that, you know, I couldn't do, right? A lot of Winston's could not do that. Unfortunately, they're going to have to come back into this down 2-0. We're going to cut to a short break. When we come back, we will see Throne of Anubis, and we'll see if Shenzhen can pull it together.
Break
All right, welcome back, everybody. Right now, 07 are doing their job, right? They're still looking like the team that has only dropped 2 maps this season. Shenzhen Strikers, on the other hand, are struggling in several facets of the game, right? Synergy, a little bit lacking. Mentality, we know, is definitely lacking. Hopefully they were able to use this time. 5 minutes isn't like a whole lot, but it is time, right? You're able to step back for a few minutes, take a break, and talk to your team, right? Because we've seen the moments that they've made, and we know what they can do. They just need to do it.
Exactly, just getting everybody back on the same page, and easier said than done, right? We don't know exactly what happened. They could have used those 5 minutes to give themselves that pep talk, realize, hey, listen, guys, we can take it to them, or they could have used this 5 minutes to, wallow in it and just be like, yeah, no, we're here to play one more map, it'll be over and done with. And that's sort of a mentality diff, right? That's also a factor when you're competing in these tournaments, right? Looking to be the best of the best. You have to, go into every single match, even if it's David versus Goliath. You have to go in and say, I can win. I would, it's, tough in certain situations like this when you're going up against a squad like 07 when you can just look at their scoreboard and realize, oh, hey, they're really, really good. But, somebody's got to slay them. Why not try to be the first?
Yeah, and you know what? David won that fight, right?
Exactly.
It's rough, right? Especially because 07 knows what they want to do, right? It's kind of hard to come in with an edge, playing a specialized comp when it's not like a great comp. It's an okay one, right? The Winston dive is fine. But 07's ready for it, whether it's the Junker Queen or the Ramatra or whatever the hell they're gonna run. 07's ready. 07 is very, very flexible. They've shown that all season. They're flexible. They are good. And the only possible weak point that we've seen from 07 hasn't been exploited yet, right? Furina has been good. I don't think she's died very much, right? She has not been separated from her backline duo at all, and that's what you expect, right? That's what you expect from a team as good as 07 picking up a new player. You expect that new player to be up to par, and so far she has.
Absolutely, she's been playing absolutely amazingly, and maybe that's part of the difficulty for the side of Shenzhen right now. Maybe they don't see that as a weakness, something they can exploit as easily here, but ultimately, I think it's more about them right now, right? I think they have to focus on getting on the same page and look for these elims wherever they may come, whether it's the backline, whether it's punishing one of these DPS, or even, we've seen a lot of situations where Shadowy has been overextended to high heaven on tank and, not punished for it. So I feel like if we can find some punishment, get something going there, it could be a good start to things. As we are getting a look in the spawn rooms here, you are seeing the Ana, the Winston all sort of do their thing. Meanwhile, 07, I was going to say, please do not let that Roadhog leave the spawn room, but no. Oh, nope. Okay, the Roadhog is real. They're having fun with it, is going to be the words that we use here. They're having fun with it.
Well, pause going to come through from the side of Shenzhen, though, right off the rip. 07 needs to be careful with this, right? Because from what we know about not Flashpoint, but Clash as a map type, it is a very, very real possibility that the weaker team, which in this case would be Shenzhen, is able to find some momentum and at least pick up a map win. And when you're playing a comp as bad as what they're on right now, especially when you're staring down the face of an Ana who has landed some really good anti-grenades throughout this series so far, 07's got to be careful not to let this get too far away from them, right? I'm very confident that they know what they're doing. But it's a tightrope you got to toe between silly and actually trying to win the game.
Yeah, and I mean, this is one of the things about 07, right? They will get disrespectful, right? It's almost like a limit test of like, let's see how far down the rabbit hole we can go, right? I mean, you could argue, right? They're just playing Winston counters, right? The Torbjorn, the Roadhog, both coming in as great counters to the Winston, putting a little bit more pressure onto Cheerio from preventing these dives coming through, and just further enabling the backline to be safe. But it's just one of those things you have to sort of wait and see how it all shakes out, right? If there's actually going to be follow-up on the side of Shenzhen, if they can sort of punish this, or if 07, just again, they're going to have the momentum, they're just going to go forward with these Roadhogs.
All right, Anti now on to Shadowy. Going to be able to live. Is Yo-Yo going to be so lucky? The answer is no. Salmon clocks him in the mouth there, and should be Shenzhen grabbing this first point here.
That's what I'm talking about again. Like, you as a Winston are solo attacking a Torb who has turret in a corner where nobody can help you, nobody can peel, anything like that. It's a foolish move from the side of Shenzhen, right? You have to sync up. You know, tell your Tracer, hey, listen, I'm going over here. Can we go together? You know, you count it down. Super simple concept of Overwatch here that are being skipped, you know, potentially just due to lack of confidence.
Alright, well, the Torb turret is gone. Shadowy below 200 HP, but gets away God-free for the moment. Trapped down on either side as Sufi, you know, just takes the handout that Yo-Yo gave them, and Shenzhen are going to falter here one more time as we head over to point E.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Maybe?
low pick from Tachyon, but it's just going to be harder and harder for these recontests to come through because, you know, again, it's just about being there at the right time, and now this Winston's in alone again.
Yo-Yo explodes, but Shadowy could go down here, so there is not a tank from either side as Yo-Ho-Ho and Dido have come in to save the day. Dido is stuck in a pig pen, but Salmon only has the support of their turret, and Shenzhen are able to come back in here, and they should be able to grab this point to even the score.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very good recontest here from your DPS line, and Cheerio, I mean, just sync up with them a little bit more, and you can see more of these results heading your way here. It looks so incredibly good because the rest of the team, right? You saw the Lucio coming in, the headshots from the cast as well as the Tracer, all just sort of syncing up to get that point, you know, contested back in your favor. Now you have some ults to work with. You can sort of go in, play a little aggressive.
Sufi felled to the pulse bomb. Shadowy is anti, able to get away for the moment, take a breather off. On the flank, nano boost onto Tachyon. I'm not sure if that's exactly who they wanted to nano there. Shadowy antied one more time, and as Yo-Yo goes down, 07 should grab C one more time. Well, yeah, should though. Should.
Emphasis on should, right? But the Winston, I mean, is technically here, but yeah, goodbye health bar.
Ripped apart by the whole hog. Hook goes right through the Lucio. Still, irregardless of that, takedown to move back to D.
Moving back over here, just being able to set up. You have a Riptire as well as the Orbital Ray to work with for the side of 07. They've got everything they could ever ask for. Shenzhen, you know, you're coming up on some ultimates. You currently have Primal Rage, but you gotta stop getting caught out like this. These folks should not be getting hit this often.
Sleep onto Shadowy. That anti going to come through, I assume, very soon. Riptire looking for the target. The Primal Rage is not the one that you really want to go for, but it does force Yo-Yo away from the fight. And, I mean, that's also going to force the point through for 07.
Yeah, I mean, 07 pretty much gets that point for free. These nades, you know, sure, you're applying the anti to the hog, but they're coming through at times where there's no follow-up. So I feel like you might have to be a little bit more patient there if you're Dido or Cheerios.
Okay. I mean, Tachyon keeping it going and has to use a recall to get back up onto the map. And Yo-Yo should be returning to the fight soon as Tachyon gets caught out. Yo-Yo is on to the Sigma here as we head into the final bit. A beautiful hook there onto Shadowy, who should be taken down, but with the Orbital Ray healing and the damage boost coming through, I mean, 07 have the opportunity to put this away right now.
And it seems like they're getting that opportunity in spades, right? That's going to be the tick signifying the 4th point. Now just one tick standing between them and their ultimate victory. The nano cast is all that's going to here.
Get back over here! Oh goodness, that's it though. I mean 07 5-1. I don't have anything else to say. I don't want to keep like cutting any deeper, right? 07, you know, it was a little bit of a slower start on Nepal, but as soon as they won that first map, I mean, it was just shoving face in dirt for the rest of the match. And that happened for various reasons. But ultimately, I'm going to be honest with you, the only people that Shenzhen can blame are themselves.
Yeah, I mean, they lost confidence in themselves, and it showed immensely here. So, you know, back to the drawing board. Meanwhile, 07, you know, celebrate their victory, right? You brought in a whole new team member. You looked good with it still. You're able to sort of play as you wanted, showing that your skill, showing that you're still the top dog here in the EU Masters tier, which, you know, I don't think anybody's surprised by or anything of that nature. It's just, you know, we're wondering when one day if there will be an opponent that can sort of try to take them to task, at least make it a close affair, and it seems like we're still in search of that opponent.
Yeah, I mean 07, there's a reason that they're 8-0 for 7 weeks of regular season play, right? That tournament win was convincing. Nobody could really get the job done against them, like you said, and I mean 07 are riding a high right now that really nobody has been able to contend with, and it's hard to find confidence when you're facing this adversity of, you know, being in a different country, playing on a laptop, and there was a Torb hammer kill right at the end of that map that we missed. But it's hard, right? Sometimes it's hard to compete. You can't let, you know what? I'm not gonna dig that hole any deeper. I'll just say I'm a bit disappointed, but for 07, they're still undefeated. They've only dropped 2 maps through the entire season, and I believe, if I am remembering this correctly, both of those happened in one map, or one series rather. So, you know, they've been taken to 5 one time, and ever since then, it's been really, really easy for them. So maybe they could be brought to task again. You know, there is a little bit more opportunity in the playoffs for these teams, as it is double elimination. So that'll be really interesting. I'm interested to see if 07, you know, does get challenged, if you know, some team is able to come up and step to them.
Yeah, it's going to be super interesting to see. They're certainly flying high, you know, that postseason looming ever closer here. But while we could sing their praises all day long, it's probably best to sort of let them do it themselves here. So if you'll bear with us, give us time for a quick little break. We'll throw it in there. We'll get everybody all set up, and we'll have an interview with somebody from the side of 07 to sort of break down how they're doing.
Got lots of love. Got lots of love. Lots of love. Love. Got lots of love. Got lots of love. Love. Got lots of love. Love. Got lots of love. Love.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We have got Frog and Sufi of '07 here to talk to us after their interview. Y'all remain undefeated now, 8-0 through 7 weeks of gameplay. How are y'all feeling right now?
Pretty good. We just had a fun little game there. Last round went a bit crazy. Very fun.
Yeah, been very fun.
Yeah, a little bit fun, a little bit of silliness comes out, but the win comes through regardless of that silliness. You know, only one more week of regular season before that postseason starts to hit. I mean, you know, do you guys feel like that you can keep that streak up? You can hit that #1 seed heading into postseason?
I think it's more than likely. I think we've played most of the teams in the league now, and I'm pretty sure we've won every game, so I don't see anyone really stopping us.
I mean, yeah, y'all don't look very, very stoppable right now. I mean, it really wasn't after that first map a match, in my opinion. But what when y'all decided to switch off of the mirror, like what caused that? Was it just because y'all lost a close map in that first sub map to go off of that Winston back over to the Junker Queen?
I think that was the main thing, because we lost that point. We didn't think we should lose a point, really, so we kind of thought, let's just go back to our basics, what we're good at, what we know, what we can do. And yeah, I mean, that clearly worked. So I think we made the right call to switch off the mirror for that map.
Yeah, I mean, the mirror is definitely a little bit tricky when you have a team that's as well versed in it as Shenzhen claims to be, but, you know, it's just one of those things where this match, it looked incredible from your guys' perspective. You know, is it just going to be a simple, you know, continuing to run this sort of meta style with your new backline, or do you feel like you're going to have to sort of maybe change things up as matches continue to go on?
I think it depends on our availability, because we have some players who play like a lot more Lucio. So we might have like Lucio comps in there sometimes. It's going to change depending on who we have available, really. But I think when we can and when we want to win as dominantly as possible, we'll probably just stick to the meta Juno Brig. But I guess we'll see in the future if that changes.
Good option indeed. But now for Sufi specifically, are you gonna Widow 1v1 Yo-ho-ho?
If he wants, sure. I mean, I'm on a controller, he's on a mouse, so he should really win this, but like, I'll do it, you know?
All right. Well, I mean, best of luck with that if you do it. But now to really actually bring the interview to a close now, y'all are still looking very, very strong this season. But as we get ready to send y'all away, is there anybody y'all want to shout out or maybe bring up something that maybe we didn't?
I'll let Frog do the shout out for us.
I don't have anyone in mind really.
I think we could definitely shout out our team. We played really well again, and just all our friends for showing up. I want to shout out my wife because she's about to give birth to our child next month, for supporting me through this whole thing. And yeah, just the team as well, of course. Yeah, GG's to everyone.
And GG's to y'all. Best of luck next week and headed into the playoffs. Y'all are looking pretty good, pretty ready for that journey. It's coming to a close here very, very quickly. Are y'all ready for it?
Yeah, I'm ready. Frog, you ready?
Yeah, I think I'm ready.
Hell yeah, we're ready.
All right, Mega. I think they're ready.
Yeah, they're ready.
So we will bid adieu to y'all, and I guess more than likely we'll probably be talking to y'all again here very, very soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yep. So we will see y'all later.
Right, bye-bye.
All right, Mega. That was
This is the part where we force them out of VC secretly while no one's looking. But yeah, that was a match of all time, Fletch. We watched 3 maps of Overwatch we played. 07, still the best team here in EU Masters. Shenzhen, get some confidence. I truly believe this match could have gone a whole hell of a lot closer if you just believed in yourselves, even on your composition. But it is what it is. That's a story for another day.
Yeah, it's rough. I've been in spots like that before. It's not something that I'll ever say directly to anybody. I'll say that. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard to justify. But I guess it happens. Spirits get broken. Things happen. It's whatever, I guess. But as we get ready to bring this part of the stream to a close, Mega, do you have anything else to say?
Soav can't be smug this week. That's what I have to say. For our desks. So hopefully, they can make sure that it's known. And I can't wait to hear how their great analysis and how they break this down. It's really gonna be so intellectual. I might have to take notes. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, a lot to learn from this match for sure. But as get ready to send it over to them, I'm going to take this t-shirt off my head because it's horrifically uncomfortable underneath the headphones. And I will be in the Fletch once more, no longer Megalass. But that'll do it for she and I here on the caster side. We will send it over to the desk right now so they can tell us something about this series, I suppose.
And thank you in the Fletch and Megalass for an incredible. Headram, are you okay? What's going on over there, buddy?
I'm transformed.
Oh, his actual costume showed up.
Actual costume came.
His actual costume came. He's a frog.
Oh, you're a frog.
That is quite something. I like how much you fit in the shot here.
Can you full screen? Can you full screen for a second?
Yeah, can we full screen?
Oh my
Headram?
goodness!
Ah,
Wow.
there we go.
Give us a 12. Give us a 12.
Dude, I can barely move with my area right now.
I love it. That's powerful.
I had to remove my chroma key off my green screen because otherwise I got green screened out.
Oh,
I had to get my headset in here. It was interesting.
Oh gosh.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, guys. So that was quite a match of Overwatch. A 3-0 dominating victory for 07. I mean, so we kind of saw when a mirror was underway, it was a different story. But when 07 was like, all right, let's get serious and actually win this match, it wasn't close.
It's funny because if we were playing in an entirely different timeline of Overwatch where a different meta occurred, and maybe this was like 3 years ago when like Winston and Ana were still meta, they look actually really good. In the mirror, they could really contest, but maybe that's the power of just one-tricking, decently strong heroes. Unfortunately, that is also the drawback of, being the one-trick heroes. And, last Noah, no smugness from me. They played well on the dive, but outside of that, they understood it. And I have to at least give them the respect of knowing, look, this is just not our time. Let's just move along until Overwatch is our game again.
Oh, what a good coach done that. Sorry, I had
That was
to
great.
And-
That was great. No, that is the
was
correct way
fantastic.
to respond to that. Yes.
I mean, Spectrion, as the resident EU on our desk, we were kind of talking. I mean, you kind of had an opinion of they're just kind of egoing it at some points in this match.
Yeah, I think obviously 07 haven't really experienced any sort of roadblock in CGL so far, and so when Shenzhen Strikers just outright asked for a mirror, then they were more than happy to give it to them. I mean, why not? You don't really have anything to lose. Obviously, it didn't go in their favor. Looked to me like playing the Zenyatta from the side of Shenzhen Strikers meant that they wanted to play an extended poke phase, and 07 maybe flubbed their lines a little bit by giving it to them. So you watch that round back and you'll see how they're not really doing anything a lot of the time. They're just kind of poking, waiting for Ash to find a kill, but you don't do that because you've got a Brig rather than Zenyatta. That was why we ended up seeing a Sanctum actually go against them. But once they went onto a real comp, then I think the strength of the Queen especially, combined with the fact that it was Yo-Yo Cherry who's on 1200 ping and 30 FPS, also he'd claim, there wasn't really much. It was all one-way traffic after that.
Edrammer, what were your thoughts of that matchup? I mean, you were running stats the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, I'll admit, if someone bit to 3-0, the very first round was like, whoa. Just in case, but no. I mean, after that, it was pretty much just a dominant series from 07. You could tell Yo-Yo was struggling a little bit with the FPS and the ping. I mean, even they were running every counter in Shadow on, say, even this class map here when they're running the Roadhog, and it's constantly being nated, constantly slept. I don't think I saw Anti-Air slept on anyone else besides the Roadhog, and it did not slow them down.
Yeah.
Hitting some just absolutely disgusting hooks. I mean, and Salmon and Stuffy were just kind of firing all cylinders as well, and it really just felt like 07's backline was just untouchable. Just their team was putting on so much pressure that their backline never really had the problem.
Yeah. Realistically, when you look at Fiorina coming in as like a new player, because we were discussing this behind the scenes, it's hard to tell if she even struggled to slot in because this was just such a dominant game. Like, this didn't really test her. This was just kind of this is like another scrim for her almost in a lot of ways. So did she perform bad? No, by no means no. Did she perform incredibly well? I don't know. We'll have to see in the game. It's really hard to say. Yeah.
It's one of those things to a degree when you have with how roles work in Overwatch. It's like sometimes it happens in tank, sometimes it happens in support. If your team's just dying or just dominating, you look amazing no matter what.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But if your team's suffering, you'll probably suffer as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big question to me is when they go to face like Plate Group again, like when it was such a close match, how will things like this affect it? So I think we're only I think we probably won't find out till playoffs because it's likely they don't go against each other until then, but I will be waiting in anticipation for those moments. With this series being so dominant, it was at times kind of hard to pick, everyone's firing on all cylinders, a series MVP, but we did end up agreeing on one player, and it was the man who threatened our boss man at the beginning of this series, saying, if you don't pick 3-0 for us, I will hunt you and I will find you. And he was hunting and finding people on that Roadhog, so good thing Headrummer predicted a 3-0 for them. It was Shadowy for our MVP.
I mean, across multiple heroes, he just looked phenomenal. Even in that Winston mirror where realistically maybe he didn't get the top of it, he still did not put on a bad performance. Shadowy just kind of dominated the lobby. There was never a moment where you were really concerned and thinking Shadowy's making a bad pick. Like even on Clash, they walked out on the Roadhog and it went, yeah, Shadowy's just going to be fine here. He's hitting all his shots. He's setting up his team well. And I think it was at least one, maybe two maps where there was just no deaths. Like, it's hard not to look at that player and just say, you are just running this entire... You are the lobby admin right now.
Hey, wait, that's supposed to be my job.
Aha, got it. Take that.
I do want to add on though as well. I did think, especially in map 1, Salmon was definitely worth a shout out. Some of the Tracer performance was absolutely astonishing. I think multiple double kills found in the free fight just made it so much easier for his team to battle back. And while they weren't really tested, you know, after they got off that Winston, then it was just a huge factor in making that map go back into their favor. So I was super impressed with Salmon as well.
Those were generally the two we definitely were looking at when it came to picking MVP, but I just felt like Shadowy put on such a dominant... I mean, that Junker Queen on map number 1, once they swapped to it, was
good.
Ridiculous. And then being able to pull out the silly Roadhog, and even though you're going against an Ana, really make it work, I think was kind of just like the icing on top of the proverbial cake.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I don't think there's much more else to add. Like, it as they said in the booth there, this was one of the games of Overwatch we've seen.
It definitely was. So, as a reminder, let's go ahead and pull up the schedule that we have going on for you guys today. Unfortunately, this game didn't turn out as, you know, we were hoping. Not very competitive. 07 had a 3-0 victory over Shenzhen Esports, but I will not be here. But for NA, we got a banger for you guys. This is the rematch of the mid-season grand finals, where it went to 5 maps. Short Bus, one of the most main... I mean, you think of CGL, Short Bus is one of the teams you think of. Going against Mental Institution, which is Glacier's team, who is known for one-tricking Reinhardt, and brought Short Bus to map 5 when Short Bus ended up getting the victory on a crazy finale on Dorado, if we all remember that. That was absolutely insane stuff. You guys got a good one to watch tonight. I wish I could be there.
I mean, we'll have to give you some tips for the next one, because, like you said, this is going to be a heck of a game, especially because it's a replay of, you know, the grand finals for the midseason, and possibly even, a preview for the finals for the whole season as well. Like, this is arguably one of the most important games to catch here at CGL.
I mean, one could argue, Headrammer Spectreon, that, you know, Ryan might even be stronger in this patch than he was back when they did the mid-season grand finals.
You could be correct here. I mean, we saw, you know, obviously less shield break being a thing because Ramata's not punching anymore. Arisa's been toned down a little bit more. Juno's been toned down a little bit. I mean, some more of the counters have kind of been taken away.
I think the Orisa changes are the most pivotal. I think Ryan has pretty functional synergy with Juno if you want to play those two together. It's not like you're married to the Lucio Baptiste that you kind of were before. No, you have more sources of that speed. I think as well with the RAM changes, like I said, it's relatively marginal. I think the Orisa changes is what's really going to make Ryan so much different in terms of how playable he is or isn't. Because, I mean, I'm sure we all remember like Boston versus London, the 3 or 4 times we had it in the Overwatch League. It wasn't the fact that, in my biased opinion, of course, that Boston were the superior team, though they were playing very well, but they had to solve the matchup with their Orisa, and it kept working in a way that other teams simply couldn't.
Yeah.
It was craziness. Expect more craziness night on NA, so don't forget to tune into that. And keep in mind that next week, same day, same times, we will be back for our final week of the regular season before we hit the playoffs for another edition of SNO. We'll be live for both EU and NA. Hopefully we'll be getting a bunch of matches that have playoff implications now that we know how many teams from each of the different brackets and regions will be making playoffs. So make sure to tune into that. And before we go ahead and close things out for the EU portion of SNO, I'm just going to open up the floor for you guys. Any final thoughts or anything, given you know, you guys are very dressed up, very festive, and you guys will all be on NA tonight. So anything you guys want to talk about?
I hate Halloween.
I think Fletchman's the best costume for the Desk EU edition.
I agree.
Best costume.
I think Fletchman's best costume.
It's so funny. Spectreon's like, I hate Halloween, but that's not what that plushy vibe is given. And what about you, Frogman?
Oh, I mean, I'm just ready to hippity hoppity out of here.
Well, can't wait to see if you'll be in that same costume for NA or if you're going to mix it up at all. But very excited.
This one just got here. I'm riding this one to the bone.
Yeah, I'm like, I will be at my birthday dinner with my family, so I will be tuning in to it on my phone to check out what's going on, but I will be looking forward to it. And I'd just like to shout out some thank yous out there. Thank you to Fletch and Megalass for casting a great match. Thank you to all of my cohorts on the desk. And thank you to everyone behind the scenes who make us look good. Rhino, who's been filling in valiantly for Hippie, who might have to do it again next week. So thank you so much, Rhino. And then for all the production behind the scenes, we got MI and we got
Lil
MI and
Joe.
Lil Joe,
Lil Joe,
who are
June.
observing. And then Headrammer, who's running the the stats, and June, who gets us the amazing replays of all these different players, having to coordinate with us who's MVP and getting replays for that. So everyone does an amazing job here, and we couldn't do what we do without them. And thank you to you guys for tuning in to these SNO editions. Hopefully you guys are enjoying them and like what you see, and we will continue to get better and make great content for you guys. And with that, we will see you on later tonight for the NA edition. We'll see you guys later.